Let's take a look around the Big 12 here for Week 9. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, tell your friends. We need everyone, if you're a Big 12 fan, K-State fan, anyone to subscribe to the channel. We're getting all the views. We just need a couple more subs. Here we go. First game up is a game we just got on talking about on our main podcast. K-State wins a Sunflower Showdown for the 16th consecutive year, 29-27. Kenny, K-State's a good football team, and good football teams find ways to win at the end of football games.
That's right. I mean, nothing more to say there. It was an ugly game, but it's going to be it's hard to win when you come to the Bill, and that's for everybody. And KU knows more than every team in the Big 12 how important it is to come prepared against K-State at the Bill. And they quite literally gave us other than BYU, the toughest game that we've ever played this season right now. I mean, this was a barn burner, as they would say. This is a throwdown for the ages. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And K-State didn't look great. A lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball, but K-State, the Cats come out. So come out with the dub.
And K-State fans can talk smack for another 365 days. Still, it's been since 2008 since KU has beaten K-State. I mean, if you were born in 2008, you can now drive a car. That's how long ago it's been since KU has beaten K-State. 16 years in a row. K-State's going to be looking for number 17 next year. It's a wild thing to think about. Feels like KU probably should have won that game, but they didn't. K-State gets the win in the rivalry game.
I love it because then it's going to be like, then you're going to be able to die for your country. You'll be able to vote for the president. You'll be able to drink alcohol. Like
three presidential terms, dude.
You'll be able to, when we get to like 25, it's like you can now rent a car. Like, it just keeps going on and on. Like when 30 wins in a row goes, and it's like now you've basically been on your third divorce or second divorce.
It's wild. But yeah, K-State gets a win 29-27, keeping the streak alive. 16 consecutive wins against in-state rival KU. Moving on.
Here we go, Steve.
The
trilogy. The trilogy. Hey, right. First of all, I want to say this first, and then I'll let Steve go.
Okay.
I predicted BYU to win. Okay, so I had my issue when it was the Arizona game. I felt look, everybody did not think Arizona would be this bad, but they are that bad. And to be fair to Steve, UCF did give Iowa State a run for their money. And BYU was going to have to travel 2 time zones, but UCF, man, they are a bad team. I don't know what else to say, but
they're a bad football team. They're a really bad football team.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, here we go, BYU fans. I'm sorry. For the second time this year, third time this year, second time for sure. Third time probably overall because I also picked K-State to beat BYU. So, I'm sorry I picked BYU to lose. I thought they were going to lose for a couple of reasons. Number one, they played like crap against Oklahoma State at home. Should have lost that game, just like K-State should have lost against KU. They did not. I thought UCF had turned a corner considering how well they played at Iowa State a week before. Turns out their defense is still trash. Turns out they still don't have anyone that can throw a forward pass. So that's an issue for UCF. But yeah, this is embarrassing for me to pick BYU to lose when they won by 2 scores here. I still don't know why. Maybe I got caught up too much in the fact that UCF was favored in this game for some crazy reason, but Retzloff went off in this game. He looked impressive. I mean, BYU is a fun team to watch. They really are. I mean, they're scoring 24 points and a half. They're scoring touchdowns in 30 seconds right before the half ends. I mean, they're a really, really, really fun team to watch. They have good quarterback play. I mean, they're doing freaking fake field goals on the road up multiple scores. I mean, they're a fun football team to watch. And I'm sorry I picked against them, BYU fans. It's my fault. I will not pick against them again until They play K-State, hopefully in the Big 12 championship. But yeah, this is the trilogy of I'm sorry to BYU fans.
It's going to be a whole damn series. Listen, Steve, I don't want to let you off the hook just yet because you did say in your last podcast, you said you guarantee they are going to lose one of these two games. You said it's either going to be UCF or Arizona State. You said you guarantee they will lose one
All
of
right.
those
So
two
we
games.
might be going for like a Spider-Man 4, Avengers 4 here then.
No, it's the trilogy, but the third movie split into two parts. Is that what you're saying?
Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. It's an Infinity War Endgame. That's what it is.
Yes. Yes. Listen, BYU, congratulations. You, like, not only did you win the game on the road, listen, impressive win. It's hard to win on the road, but UCF is as a dumpster fire. I don't know what was going on with Iowa State. Iowa State is still on fraud alert for me. But BYU is now currently ranked in the top 10, and it is well deserved. You guys deserve every single moment you guys are getting this season. You have some of the best fans. Oh, yeah. And Steve, here's a little something funny. So I ran into a buddy of mine that works at Best Buy. And if you're watching, what's up, dude? He told me that he went to Provo.
Does his name start with an M?
No, it starts with an R.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So he told me that he went to the BYU game, and I asked him about. I was like, so like, is it everything they say? He's like, dude, it was actually, it's so surreal. Like the BYU fans are the nicest fans in the world. Like he said that they literally, the band was playing the Wabash, like their band was playing the Wabash. And they also prayed for the team. They prayed for K-State.
That's wild.
And they were giving out free ice cream to everybody that was a K-State fan.
Yeah,
and
Brett Hammer talked about that. We already knew about that, but I forgot, honestly.
I honestly, I forgot about that too. But he was like, yeah, there was a guy out there just chucking free ice cream cones to people in the K-State fan stands or whatever. And then he said there was a BYU fan behind him, and he's like, this guy needs one. And I tossed him. Oh man, it's bizarre. It's so bizarre. But honestly, you love to see a wholesome team like have the season that they're having. You know what this season kind of reminds me of? Their season kind of reminds me of the TCU season, the 2022 TCU season.
Everyone's talked about that. Everyone's talked about how this reminds them a lot of TCU from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I hadn't heard that. Yeah, yeah. I honestly did not hear that. I was just thinking about it the other day. I'm like, wow, like TCU kind of feels the same way where they were like not really projected to be this great, and then they ended up getting to the actual championship game. So it's pretty wild. But congratulations, BYU. We're not going to spend too much more time on this game, but congrats to the BYU team. You guys are top 10, top 9 in the college football rankings, and
that's actually going to come out in a couple weeks. I think they're like 9 and like the coaches of AP, which just came out today, which K-State won and they moved back, which of course always happens. Iowa State didn't play and they moved back. So it is what it is. But yeah, BYU, hoping we play them in the Big 12 championship, but I'm sorry again. Moving on. Oklahoma State loses 38-28 at Baylor. Baylor's figuring out a way to win some games, man. I mean, they did it a week ago at Texas Tech. They beat Oklahoma State here. I think we both picked Baylor to win this game, and they did. And I don't know, man. I still don't know what to think about Dave Aranda because their offense is figuring it out. I still feel like their defense has a long way to go, but they're 4-4, and they've already played Iowa State and BYU. They don't play K-State. So, I mean, they really have a chance to go 8-4, 7-5. I mean, which would be a huge deal considering how bad they were a year ago. So,
Yep. I mean, I'm glad I didn't pick Oklahoma State to win. I mean, when it's the Bowman show, you're looking at an Owen show, if you know what I'm saying. Like you're going to get a complete L on this team. And Oklahoma State this is insane. Like if you would have told me that Oklahoma State was going to go to the Big 12 championship game and then start their season off with 0 wins in the first 5 weeks of Big 12 play, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you. Not when Ollie Gordon's like junior year after he just had an insane year the year prior. I would have said you're lying. You're lying to me. But Baylor, man, advances to 4-4, 2-3 in conference play. I mean, back-to-back wins. I mean, needed that. Dave Aranda needed that. I mean, big time.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ben Westgate with a $9.99 super sticker, dude. Our first super chat on the channel. We appreciate you, Ben, so much. Like this is awesome. This is really, really, really awesome of you to do this. And if you want to put a question into the chat, we'd love to answer it or talk about it. If anyone sends us a super chat, we'll definitely spend some time talking about it. Thank you so much, Ben. First super chat, super sticker here on the channel, Kenny.
What a champion, Ben, my man. You deserve it, man. You deserve to be I don't know. You deserve a back rub from somebody special. I don't know. If there's somebody special in your life, you say Kenny G from the KSU Nation demands that you give me a back rub or a back scratch, whatever it is that you prefer, but you deserve it.
Thank you so much, Ben. We really, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, it's our first made money really here on the channel. I think Kenny sent one on like a random video just to see if it worked, and it did. But we appreciate this is our first super chat. So we really, really, really appreciate it, Ben. And hopefully you get your back rubbed or your foot rubbed. So
and let that be a lesson to all you day oneers out there that haven't done this yet. Let that be a lesson to you guys. Moving on to the Texas Tech TCU game. Woo! What a freak. You think the K-State game was close. Wow. This was close.
Yeah.
And Texas blowing a massive lead. A massive lead. TCU, man, this is the second game this season where I think the first game was against KU. The first game was against KU where they were down and they come back. They had that crazy punt return for a touchdown, and then they somehow make a way to win the game. And now, again, from behind, Texas Tech has this massive lead, and TCU finds a way to come back and win. Look, TCU, you gotta start off stronger, okay? If like you're giving your fans heart attacks out here, all right? Like you gotta get stronger earlier on. But props to you for not laying down. Props to you for giving your fans their money's worth for this game, because man, this was a crazy game.
Absolutely. And TCU is on the right side of a 35-34 game, which they were on the wrong side of it against UCF. Shout out to them for coming back and winning this game. I mean, they've won a couple interesting games and lost a couple interesting games. I really don't know what to think of them. They're 3-2, and they gave up 66 to SMU in a loss. They won at Utah. They won at Arrowhead against KU by double digits.
It seems like the bye week really helped him out, though, Steve. I mean,
yeah, I mean, this is another coach where I was like, man, those fans are really starting to turn on Sonny Dykes. But I mean, here he is beating Texas Tech, who was just a couple weeks ago in first place in the Big 12, and now they're beating them, and they're 5-3, 3-2 in the Big 12. Massive win for TCU for sure. And you definitely want to win this game if you are a TCU fan playing another Texas school. So
yeah, I mean, and now Texas Tech, man, back-to-back losses. I mean, you said it, Stevie. You were like, they were on fraud alert, and you called it out. You called it out weeks ago. You were like, I do not believe in this Texas Tech team. So, I mean, shout out to you for, basically putting a big target on their back and saying, these guys are frauds. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Texas Tech, you got to get it together. I mean, you started off strong, but now their schedule, I can't remember, but their schedule looks really insane in the back half. It looks really, really tough because a lot of people were saying that it wouldn't be crazy if Texas Tech started was undefeated going into November because the back half,
Oh my gosh. At Iowa
yeah,
State, against Colorado, at Oklahoma State, and against West Virginia. Yeah, they got a daunting schedule to end the season. So you definitely didn't want to lose at home against Baylor and then at TCU going into that 4-game gauntlet for sure.
yeah, that's a tough schedule for the Red Raiders. But I mean, you called it, Stevie. They were on fraud alert, but now they need to really buckle down and try to pull out these next 4 games. I mean, it's tough, but they're thinking they're lucky stars that the Cats aren't on their schedule. Moving on, Steve, to West Virginia versus the worst team in Arizona, and that is Arizona.
Absolutely. I think we both picked West Virginia to win this game.
Yep, we sure did.
If their quarterback played. Having said that, Tetairoa McMillan went off. 10 catches, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. That guy is going to be crazy in the NFL. I mean, he could be like Megatron. Like, that dude is insane. But still, we're going to go into November. Going into November, Arizona has still not won a home Big 12 game. They're 3-5. Brent Brennan has been an absolute mess, a disaster of a hire. This is embarrassing for them to keep losing like this. 3-5, 1-4 in a Big 12. I don't know what more you can say. Having said that, on the opposite side, as Damon Newell said here, Neil Brown doing just enough to keep his job. 4-4, 3-2 in the Big 12. Have a chance to go 8-4. Lose some.
All 3 of them.
They're beating bad teams and losing to good teams. So big win for them. Bad loss for Arizona.
Would you say that West Virginia is kind of like the gatekeepers of the Big 12?
I would say so, yes.
They're like the gatekeepers of the Big 12. Like they keep the dumpster teams down where they belong, and then the good teams where they belong. So if you want to be a good team, you got to beat West Virginia. I mean, that's basically it, Or if you want to have if you're expecting your team to go bowling that year, let's just say that, then you got to beat West Virginia if they're on your schedule. So anyway,
absolutely.
Guess who predicted the Houston Cougars to beat Utah? And that was me.
Shout out Kenny G.
I predicted it.
I don't even think Houston fans predicted it. Houston fans didn't even predict it, dude.
Go back and watch the freaking film. I predicted Houston to win. I can't even remember the score, but I think it was something like 21-17. I think it was like a low-scoring game.
You did.
So I almost got the score down too.
Roll the tape. Roll
the clip. Roll the clip.
Utah stinks. Welcome to the Big 12. I wish I would have clipped that out and pulled it up because that would have been awesome. But yeah, you definitely picked Houston to win. I did not. But yeah, welcome to the Big 12, Utah. They're lucky they're not playing K-State. They are lucky. And their schedule is, ooh-wee. Have you seen it the rest of the way? I mean, they're already 1-4 in a Big 12. Check out the rest of their schedule here.
I know they play Iowa State.
They have, in 2 weeks, BYU, at Colorado, Iowa State at home, at UCF. They could go 4-8. They really, really, really could go 4-8, dude.
That is so sad. I mean, listen, their fans came in firing away, and next time, why don't you wait till your team is good before you start talking trash? That's all I gotta say. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Wait till your team is actually good before you say you're gonna run the Big 12. Okay.
Yeah, and I want to say something about next week already. K-State is favored by 12.5. That feels kind of high considering what K-State just did at home against KU. But I know Houston got blown out by KU. But Houston also beat TCU, which is crazy, right? And then they beat Utah, which is crazy.
Listen,
I don't want to look too far into it because we're going to do a whole episode on it coming up. But and by the way, it's going to be a new time. 4:30 on Tuesdays is a new time for a Tuesday show. But yeah,
Yes, let me just reiterate that 4:30 Tuesdays. That's the new time that our show will be live. We had to change it back because now there's stuff going on later in the evening, and then we've also got we've also got a we don't have any sports teams that we're coaching anymore, so we're able to do it a little bit earlier in the day, and hopefully that works out for you guys, especially BYU and fans on the West Coast, because maybe they'll be still at work, be able to listen, or at least maybe their drive home from work. 4:30, maybe drive home from work on the East Coast. I don't know when you guys get off work. Okay, I'm a milkman. I work in like the middle of the night, so my hours are crazy. But 4:30 is the new time. I'll say it one more time. 4:30 p.m. is when the KSU Nation podcast will be live.
Central, 4:30 Central time on Tuesday.
4:30 Central on Tuesdays.
Okay. But yeah, we're excited to talk K-State Houston, and Houston has my full attention right now. They have my full attention for sure, and we'll talk about that, like I said, on Tuesday. Moving on, last game of the Big 12 Week 9. Colorado gets a 34-23 win at home against Cincinnati. They kind of pulled ahead in the middle of the game. Cincinnati came back a little late. Colorado bangs through a field goal late to put it out of reach, a 2-score game again. Colorado, I mean, that win for K-State is looking pretty good. Travis Hunter, 9 catches, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders, 323 and 2 TDs. They're pretty good. They're a pretty good football team. Their defense still has some question marks. K-State's does as well. But I could see them easily going 9-3 or 10-2. So they got a good football team. They do.
They're going bowling this year. They're going bowling this year.
And they're ranked. They're ranked now, 23rd.
And they're currently ranked. Again, props to Colorado. I mean, they're proving the naysayers wrong again and again every single week. You know, they're showing them that that they're not a team to be overlooked. So I still don't like the nastiness of the fans, but we can move past that. Look, if you got a good team, you're excited about it. You want to be excited about it. So, and it's really those 4 teams in the Big 12 that are, you know, they're the teams to watch. BYU, Iowa State, K-State, and Colorado. Those are the teams to watch in the Big 12. So anytime those teams are on, have a game, your eyes are glued to the screen, because that is like, you want to see what's going to happen in their game. This was basically a make or break game between Cincinnati and Colorado. I mean, the winner of this game was basically saying like, hey, why not us in the Big 12 championship game? And with Colorado pulling out the dub, I mean, it basically pushes Cincinnati to the side, and now they're going to be on the outside looking in, asking themselves, what if?